Dwight Conquergood in Performance Ethnography. Dwight Conquergood was born in Thunder Bay, Ontario in 1949. At a very young age, however, his family decided to move to a farm in Indiana. Conquergood began his academic career at the University of Indiana, receiving his bachelor's degree from there in 1972. Then he went to the University of Utah to complete his master's degree, and finally he went to Northwestern University to receive his PhD. Throughout his academic life, Conquergood sought to focus on those in marginalized society, those who had been disenfranchised and lived on the fringes of society. Conquergood most notably worked with the Hmong refugees of Thailand and the Latin kings of Chicago. He used their performative aspects in order to study and attempt to understand their ways of life. But first, in order to understand Conquergood's role with performance ethnography, we must know what exactly ethnography is. In truth, there is no set definition, as the term is truly applicable in various constructs. To start with, the term ethnography originated in the 19th century. Today, ethnography and ethnographers can be defined in their search to collect data in natural settings, instead of in a controlled setting like in a lab. Conquergood studied cultures through performance ethnography. As his former student David Donker pointed out, Conquergood believed that one must not make the, quote, silly distinction between writing and living, end quote. It is the performance that defines human interaction and becomes the mode by which we can know, experience, and intervene in the world. Conquergood worked closely with those in marginalized society to help in whatever way he could. Conquergood coined the term co-performative witness to sort of illustrate what this means. In short, both the ethnographer and the human subjects are important. As described by Soini Madison in her article, Co-Performative Witnessing, Conquergood described it as becoming, quote, radically engaged and committed, body to body, in the field, end quote. In other words, one would need to become a part of the performance to truly understand the culture they are attempting to study. Working so closely with those who are vastly different than oneself can lead to some trouble. In order to help those who may falter, Conquergood mapped out what he called the 4 ethical pitfalls. The first pitfall is called the rip-off. Conquergood describes this as the plunderer who approaches and appropriates culture without a sense of care. Next is the infatuated enthusiast who assumes a facile identification with those whom they are studying. Third is identified as the cop-out, or those who do not actively engage within the culture they are studying, but still cast judgments upon them without fully understanding their culture. Lastly, Conquergood warns against becoming the exhibitionist. These people often tend to romanticize the culture they are studying, and in doing so they further widen the separation between themselves and the other. Conquergood believed fully and completely immersing himself in the culture he was researching. For example, when he was working on Life in Big Red, a study wherein he researched the life of refugees and poverty-stricken families and individuals living in a certain apartment complex, Conquergood did not merely observe from afar. Rather, he lived in the apartment complex. He helped his neighbors with sleeping and dealt with the same issues that they had to deal with. He also integrated the views that outside people had on these disenfranchised within his work. For example, in one trip to the store, he overheard 2 cashiers discussing the neighborhood problem, describing the refugees as trash. In Conquergood's film, Heartbroken in Half, Conquergood sought to illustrate the life world of children who are/were members of the gang, the Latin Kings. Conquergood worked with them to attempt to find ways to dissuade others from falling into their same paths, and donated a lot of time and money to projects designed to help those who are in need. Conquergood passed away in 2004, but not without leaving behind an academic legacy few could hope to mirror. His work in both the academic field and within so many communities truly should not be forgotten, and hopefully future performance ethnographers will take his work and his advice to heart as their own research continues.